Several of you have requested samples of my Claes Oldenburg lesson, where students in fifth grade, my fifth grade class anyway, work on value scale and gradation scale and how to change shapes into forms, using those values and then taking objects, and we study obviously Claes Oldenburg and the auction of the typewriter eraser and all sorts of other things. So I recently had someone ask for some samples that would help them, and so I just wanted to share. These are some samples from previous fifth graders who have completed the Claes Oldenburg assignment. The first three examples I'm going to show you, this being number one, are colored copies. The kids obviously took their artwork home, and then I have a few that either the student moved or the students allowed me to keep their example for future use. So this one was copied, so there's number one. Here's the second one. Color copies unfortunately don't come across as maybe as nicely as some of the in real life copies. I have to say the challenge in teaching this is really getting the kids to push and pull their values so that you can really see the reflections. And you'll notice that these are metal, this is metal. So I try to find objects that have really good reflective quality or where you can really see a range of values. So even if you have something, let's say a stapler, here's one that they let me borrow or have. You know, you can talk about how the stapler is black. However, when the light hits it, the whole thing is black, but there's certainly lighter blacks versus darker blacks within the stapler. Here's a water bottle. Usually what I do is I have them do the object in value, and then obviously we add that pop of color in the background. So even if students don't want to add a whole lot of color to their work, I usually say, you know, go in and just add a pop of color here and there to their black and white just to create a little bit more interest. Here's some Scotch tape. And this one is an old red lantern that I have, where we've taken the reds and we've just kind of looked at where the lights and darks are. Another thing just to note on here is that part of this particular lesson is I teach students how to look at objects and break them down into simplistic images. And so we start with drawing basic shapes and then kind of combining things together and adding more detail. I talk about it in the respect of baking a cake. We have to start with the ingredients, so we have to start with the basics and we build. We don't frost and add the candles to the cake before it's baked. So those fine details that we add to our drawings are the very last thing that we do, and so it's a building process. And then here's the last one I have, is a wrench, and it's holding a little ball. And I think there's supposed to be a little person in there too. So those are my samples, and I hope that helps for those of you who were wanting to kind of to see some examples of how this lesson works. So have fun and enjoy creating.